Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies, where it has been a couple of weeks since we've actually a week and a week and a half since we've had a podcast. But I think we just needed some much needed time off. We're not able to hit up the YouTube community until we hit 1,000 subs. So we're as opposed to doing a video saying why we're not doing it, we're gonna hit it up right here. We had David Icon the last time that we had a podcast. Johnny and I. Hit that up. David, thank you so much, man, for coming on the show. It was beautiful, man. I encourage anyone who hasn't seen that podcast to just go back to last week and check it out. A lot of great information. It was very interesting having David on. More than interesting, honestly, in my opinion. But it was fantastic, man. And we got Jesse back tonight. Jesse's in the house. He's right back in the middle where he belongs.
The sandwich is complete.
Yes, it is, man. What the fuck's going on?
I love how during your intro, it literally it felt like a Family Guy moment or something. During your intro, you're like, all right, we're going to start it off, blah, blah, blah. Let me start the intro. And then Jesse's just like opening a bag of chips, like being loud, like unplugging his mic, like as much noise as possible. Just
Yeah, no, my bad.
No, it was just funny.
It's been a while for
Thought
you
it was
guys.
good.
It has, but we got a lot of new listeners out there, man, and I greatly appreciate anyone who's recently subscribed to Talk Junkies. We've been doing this close to 3 years in March now.
Jesus.
We're not going to stop, man.
Fucking
Like,
getting
we're going
old.
to continue to do content for everyone who's willing to listen and just, when you're about to go to bed or whatever, whenever you're listening to Talk Junkies, man, we're here for you. We're going to make content as much as we can, once a week for sure, and until we can do more than that. But not only thank you to all the new listeners and friends out there, but we're also on multiple platforms, and we've been that way for close to 6 weeks now. We're on iTunes, we're on Spotify, we're on all the major podcasts, so you can find us there as well. But Johnny, Jesse, good to have you guys back, man. What's going on?
Not much. Good to be back. I kind of liked having a week off, though. You know, taking that 1 week off, which I've been really busy with. My work schedule has changed anyways, so that's been something else. Super Bowl's coming up. That's going to be super dope.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
You should be rocking some Chiefs gear too, man. But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
That is what it
he's
is.
a Packers fan. Jesse, what the fuck's up, man?
Not shit. I just turned 30, which is weird. I don't feel 30, but I am. So that is what it is.
That's it
Yeah.
for you? That's what's up?
Yeah,
You're 30?
I turned 30.
Dirty
Still
30.
doing-
I tried to throw this guy a secret surprise birthday party, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit of a bitch about it. But I hit up his girlfriend and I was like, hey, I want to throw Jesse a surprise birthday party. She literally went and told Jesse that because she loves Jesse and Jesse doesn't want to do that type of thing.
Yeah, that's not my vibe.
Jesse's
but
not
Yeah.
the surprise birthday party.
I'm not.
either
I don't
way.
like big.
Actually, I don't think any of us are because I'm
Yeah.
a 30-year-old male. I don't need a surprise birthday
Which
party.
there was still a surprise packaged in there, which blew my fucking mind. Which was better than any other surprise. Was
Yeah.
an old friend showing up that I hadn't seen or talked to. Well, I talked to him over the phone, but I hadn't actually physically probably seen the guy in a long time. So it was really good to have a close friend show up.
Yeah, it was a fun
Surprised me
night,
so.
man. Really fun night. But so tonight we're going to hit up a few topics and just going to tell you guys a little bit about what we're going to talk about. We're going to hit what's going on with the stock market and with the GameStop and AMC and Nokia and all that shit because Jesse and Johnny have a lot to offer when it comes to that. To me anyways, whenever I'm having a conversation about this specific topic, they offer a lot of information to me. I mean, and again, we're not offering any type of financial advice, but I think it's just good to talk about within the times. I know it's been hit hard already within the past 4 days, but I think that just having a conversation about it on Talk Junkies would be nice. Not only that, we're going to talk about a little bit about Joe Biden, man. We're good at talking about politics. You know, there's a lot of things that I've watched, and I know that these two don't really care about. The 40 executive orders he's already signed within the past 2 weeks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're going to sprinkle in a little bit of diet at the end. But
Diet? Is that what you said?
yeah, diet. But before we do that, we're going to talk about, I don't know, man, just some chill, relaxing, cool shit, man. Before we get
Smooth
into
jazz with
before-
Michael Davis in the cool.
Before we get into the hard shit, man, Jesse, you were saying something outside. What is it with curse words, man? I think that was something that was pretty chill.
Oh, no. So I was watching some documentaries, and one thing that I found really interesting is that any derogatory term that has been set to a group of people, and this is proven throughout history, is eventually that group of people will use that word as they take the derogatory miss out of it and they use it for an empowering in an empowering way. So then there's plenty of examples of this. The one that I can actually use the word fairly loosely is the word bitch. Like bitch was, so condescending to women over time, and then now you have all these women who use it like, oh, look at that bad bitch doing her shit. Like they've taken something dark and derogatory and negative towards them, and they are reusing it in a positive sense, which happens with any word that's used towards a group. I just think that's really resilient of humanity and groups of people, that they can be like, oh man, you're trying to shit on me? Well, I'm going to take what you're shitting on me with, and now I'm going to use it as a term of endearment towards other people, and then reshape this to where I'm literally taking your power away from you, and I'm going to embrace this word and change it. I think that's really good of humanity to do things like that, and it just shows.
To me, it's
Word up, honky.
Yeah, word up, honky.
well. There's a couple things that
Has anybody in this room right now ever been called a honky by somebody of a different race?
Man, I've never been called.
I have never been called a honky by anybody else.
That's
such a
there's
horrible
not really
fucking example.
No, I know. That's why I said it. That's hence the joke. But the white culture or the Caucasian culture or whatever, there's really not any words like that have hit us hard compared to other races and cultures.
I think probably back in time there may have been some different stuff, but we'll never know those times. To me, I think what strikes the most interesting point about that is the fact that how did the words become into existence in the first place? And whenever those words were being first used in reference to bitch, like whenever it was derogatory towards women, I'm just curious on how it became that way. Because
the thing is, these words aren't. It's not like they're not derogatory now. Like
Yeah.
we have, like the N word is still derogatory.
for sure.
Saying bitch is still derogatory in the right context. Like these,
No,
the
in
words are still,
the context is
makes
the whole
a
thing.
massive difference.
The context is really what changes everything.
But I still feel like they're like man-made words. Like what I'm saying is
every
like
word is.
the origins of the word was made by someone.
Oh
a
yeah,
man or
and
a
no,
woman.
it's really interesting. And I literally binge watched the whole documentary that's on Netflix about curse words. I can't even remember the name of it.
You
now.
brought it up once. My brother actually watched it. He said it was actually pretty
It's
good.
really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And they go over a lot of like urban legends where words came from, and they actually get down to the historical origin of them, and it's just really interesting.
See
To see where words came from.
What's weirder for me isn't so much those derogatory words; it's the words that used to be bad that we now use in everyday language. And I can only think of one off the top of my head. There's actually a ton, but I can only think of one, and that is, and I've told you guys before, I think, but never on the podcast. That's picnic. So
Yeah, no,
like-
you have on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
So
no,
like
I remember this.
Like
I
you
remember
taking the family out for a picnic,
Yeah.
like that used to be a derogatory thing used against black people in the early days of the United States. It had to deal with going out to watch someone hang. Like that's where that word stems from.
But we don't.
But we don't associate it with that anymore. It's a normal, family-friendly word. And there's other words like that were bad that have become just, they don't mean anything and nobody takes any kind of offense to them.
That's what's so important. Whenever I mention hermeneutics a lot on this podcast, I feel like I don't know why it comes up so much, but I have to go back to the hermeneutics, which is the translation of like language to language, and it's not even necessarily like language to language. Like in this example, you're looking at something that represented something in this time period, but we're literally using the same word in the same language, but for a completely different purpose. Mm-hmm. And just how everything evolves, just language evolves, everything evolves. You need to keep. Which is why it's so hard to track what somebody meant like fucking 400 years ago. Like not only it was the same language, but we even like look at all the new slang that spill the tea, spill the tea. I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I was like, but people still say it, or people are saying it now, and I'm like, I can't get on board with it. Like this is some
What's
new
the tea,
generation
man?
thing.
What's the tea?
Yeah, what's the tea? Spill the tea. I'm like, man, I can't get on board with this.
I can't get
But
mad at him
it's
for
like
it, though. It
this
is
new
what it is,
thing.
man.
And who knows, whenever like somebody looks back 200 years from now, whenever they quit using that slang term for gossip, that how they're going to be like, they could be drinking tea and they're like, what the fuck are they talking about? What the fuck? That language evolves so quickly.
But you
With
talking
technology,
about
Yeah,
you talking about language evolving though, and how we use language in different ways, even within the same language, like within the English language or whatever language it may be. Oh my God, I lost my track saying language that many times. Jesus Christ. I can't remember where I was going with that. Honest to God. And I'm not drunk or stoned or anything. I'm just sober as fuck right here. Just can't remember what I was saying.
That's what a drunken stone person would say.
I know, right?
Johnny.
No, I'm 100% sober. 99.9%.
So honestly, and to just generalize that, you need to have that understanding of language and how it's adapted, and then looking back, and you and if somebody talked this way and you're like, man, that's iffy to me, you need to realize that's a different time period, and things meant darker things or even more lighthearted things, and then things have changed.
That's what it was. That's
in the inverse. And
I think what's more important than the words we choose to use around each other, and what more people need to look at, is context.
there you go.
Yeah.
Context, which we've kind of gotten away with that in this. I hate using this, but it's true, in this cancel culture we're in this politically correct, this PC culture, which has been going on for years. I remember people talking about, there's a South Park episode about political correctness that's back from like 2006. Like, this has been happening for a while.
It's just heightened.
Heightened right now with everything. And my biggest thing is, before you get offended by what someone says, think about the context. Think about the context. Are they actually saying it to be rude and mean to you?
Yeah.
Or are they just using a word that you're not used to, whatever?
Which I feel like the majority of the public knows this. The majority of the public. Okay, so the best example of this that I'm going to bring up, I don't know how much longer you want to stay on this topic, but it's saying Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
So everybody who's watched this podcast knows that I am not a religious person. I do not back the Christian religion at all. But one thing I always say is Merry Christmas to people. I am not backing of any of the Christmas story or anything like that. What Merry Christmas means is, whenever I say it to you, is I really hope that you have this time of year, you have a really good, joyous time with your family, and like whatever it is, you really enjoy this time of year. And it's been this lighthearted thing. But now, I don't know, man, this probably happened like 10 years ago.
This has been going on for a while.
So this is what's weird to me, is all of a sudden, now you offend people who don't have that religion. I'm like, I'm not that religion, but I say that because that's culturally what you say to let somebody know, hey, I really hope you have a good time this year.
Don't you think that
it has nothing to do with me
you shouldn't
forcing
have
a
to
religion
say
on you?
Happy holidays. Or honestly, I should be able to walk up to you, Jesse, as your friend. Like, let's say I was Jewish and we've been friends for years. I should be able to walk up to you and say Happy Hanukkah, and you not get offended at all.
I would not be offended,
because that's my way of just.
And if that's what it was, I'd be like, all right, man, no, thanks. I appreciate that. I can tell so many times when the context in which the person is saying something is the most, and honestly, all of it, the importance of what they're saying. But then you go, oh, well, I just don't agree with this, disagrees with what I'm feeling. I'm like, dude, they're giving you a good gesture.
Yeah.
Like, can you just
Calm
chill
down.
the fuck
Calm
out a little bit? Like, just chill the fuck out.
The world's
for, like,
not out to get you.
Yeah, like somebody's wishing you to have a good time, but it's not the thing that you want them to use a different word to say that.
Oh, he said Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays,
So
and I don't celebrate Christmas, blah, blah. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Just take the compliment, man, or take
Just
whatever it is, and
fucking-
just move about
don't-
your day.
Just quit being a bitch.
The thing that, like, I
Quit
think,
being a bitch.
Nice dick, bro. Oh, thanks, man.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
and they're not going to say no to that, or nor would they get mad about that.
By the way, I've never heard that before in my life.
Yeah, I definitely
never
haven't
heard
either.
that
Never,
before in my
not
life.
once.
That one I've never heard before.
But like the kick I've been on like lately is like whenever you die, like none of this shit's gonna matter anyways.
Oh, that's a way different route you're taking.
No, not really. Like if someone were to come, I'm not a very religious person, and again, like I'm the type of person that would say like Happy Holiday or Merry Christmas, and now like the way that culture has shaped itself, whenever I'm talking to people, I might say like Happy Holidays, and I don't like that aspect. But what I'm saying is like
There's nothing wrong with that either, by the way.
But no, I know that. But instead of getting offended, like just take a step back, like you said, don't take it out of context and just realize like at the end of the day, is this really gonna like what's it gonna do to me? Like what are words really gonna do to me in that context when you're saying Merry Christmas to someone? Truly, how deep could that go to where it hurts your inner core of your inner self, of your inner being? to where you're that upset, where you're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever happened. I'm going to yell at this person or make them have a bad day. Instead of doing that, yeah, you too. Walk away, and then that's it.
Also, that being said, Paul, that goes both ways, because there's probably some viewers or listeners out there right now, depending on where you're listening to this at, who are like all dick strong about what we're saying right now. And they're like, oh, yeah, I agree. I say Merry Christmas all the time, and I hate it when people get pissed. Yeah, but think about it. Do you get offended when someone says Happy Holidays? Because I have said Happy Holidays to people, and like they've actually gotten a little irked because they're like, why didn't they just say Merry Christmas? So the it goes both ways. Like if someone says Happy Holidays to you,
they're just
and you're
words.
like, everything's being politically correct now, and I hate the fact that people say Happy Holidays instead of Merry Christmas. Calm the fuck down on your side too.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
don't
chill the
give a
fuck
shit
out.
if somebody says Happy Holidays, but I say Merry Christmas.
That's my point,
I
though.
say Merry
That's
Christmas.
my
I
point.
was born
you
and raised
shouldn't
that
get
way.
mad if someone says Happy Holidays to you, and you shouldn't get mad if someone says Merry Christmas to you, because it's the gesture.
But I
is
think,
all that matters.
especially in the Western culture, like we're set in our ways because you're born a certain way and you're conditioned a certain way on just like what what life is and how you see it. And like whenever you get older, those are the types of words that you're going to use, right? Or the types of phrases, like the things that you grew up knowing to say. And it's hard to change that, and it can't happen over time. And yes, that's fine, but it's going to happen, and it always will happen. And people just need to relax a little bit, I think, is just what we're all kind of saying.
Just chill out.
Yeah. Enough on that, man.
Moral of the story, chill out.
Let's get into some very raunchy, nice, delicious stuff
What?
here. So as you all know, some crazy shit happened last week. I talked to
I don't know
Johnny
if
a little
Paul
bit.
understands adjectives. Keep going,
No.
Paul.
Yeah, probably not.
You get into the stock market and you're
Yeah.
calling the stock market raunchy?
Raunchy delicious.
A little bit raunchy, but so right now,
All right.
the amount of money that has been lost to hedge fund people. Do we know what that
70
number-
billion. It was 70 billion last time I looked at it.
70 billion. So you have people like Melvin Capital lost 53% in January. You have short sellers are nursing estimated losses of 19 billion after the betting on the GameStop's the plunge. So can we just explain to people, like layman's terms, or even just the basics of what happened? What exactly happened last week, and why did it happen?
So, oh man, Johnny's actually going to be way better than this. But I'm just going to say, in general, a market manipulation happened. Man, Johnny, you just need to take it over because you're going to be way more thorough than me.
So the layman's terms, the easiest way to put it is that basically you have all these hedge funds making smart bets, because that's what the stock market is, especially options trading, is like betting. It's like sports betting or like anything else, or gambling, whatever, but with an educated side to it. Anyways, you have all these giant hedge funds who took GameStop, saw that its stock was way higher than it should be. Basically, it was higher than what everybody evaluated it at.
Before Reddit got it
Before
involved.
Reddit.
Okay.
So it was at like $27. It was at like $27, which is way higher than whatever, because it had been averaging at like around $11, and my numbers might be slightly off, by the way, but it was averaging around $11 or something like that back in like October, and it had been on that for a long time, and it had steady losses over the last 5 years. Highest it was like 5 years ago was like $18 or something, so it's been low. And then Microsoft bought it. Microsoft bought GameStop, which gave GameStop a little bit of a boost. It gave them a little bump, and they went up to like 20, and then some whatever stuff happened. They got a new CEO, or either a CEO or a CFO, one of those two things. GameStop got a new one, which caused it to bump up a little higher, and that's when it hit like $27, give or take a couple of bucks. Hedge funds saw this, looked at it, evaluated the company, and said, no, there's no way it's worth this much. It's not worth 27 a share. It's closer to like 18 or 20 a share or lower. So they
And it doesn't take a corporate evaluation to know that GameStop is a failing fucking company. Anyway, sorry. It's a failing business model.
So they went in and they shorted the company. And what shorting the company means is basically betting against it. You make the simple term, I could go into more detail, but the simplest way to put it is, if GameStop fails and their stocks go lower, then you make money if you short it. Well, they aggressively shorted it, like super aggressively. They shorted it like negative 120%, which isn't even like possible. You know what I mean? Like the company can't be at negative 120%. Reaches negative 100, it's bankrupt. You know, like they aggressively shorted it. And this is all, I won't say public information, but it's information that you can find. You can find out how much a company has been shorted based on articles and all this different stuff. A whole bunch of people on Reddit, under the Reddit Wall Street Bets, saw this and basically came together and said, wow, they shorted this so much that if the company goes up, they're going to lose a lot of money, and they're going to have to sell their shorts and lose money on that, which is going to cause it to go up higher, the company to go up higher, and then
aggressively higher. So
yes,
if you're wrong, if you're wrong on a short, it naturally influxes that shit crazy high, more than the actual value of the company. I just need that. So it happened with Tesla. Like I experienced this with. It's weird how this works because it's not the actual overall evaluation of the company. My bad. I don't need to be interrupting you. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm trying to speed this up because I could go into detail, and I'm not trying to go into detail. But the general thing is, you had a bunch of people from Reddit basically say, "Hey, they've shorted this way too much. They have overdone it."
So do they? So how did they know? How did they know that they shorted it?
You can
public information.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you see that on like Robinhood, you could see that they're shorting the app.
Robinhood's a bad example. You
no,
can't really
because
see
you're
on
not
that.
getting articles
But you can
from Robinhood.
You have to
There's
read
places
it.
you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's places you can see it. But they saw that they shorted it a shit ton, and they all kind of came together and said, "Hey, let's buy into this. Let's buy into this stock." And they bought in, and then it becomes a snowball effect, because when they started buying in, this is the part where I do have to go into a little bit of detail, so bear with me. It's not all caused by them buying in. It is also caused by the hedge funds selling. So they bought in a little. So now GameStop goes from $27 up to like $35. That means all these hedge funds that had shorts on it start losing money. So what happens then is they've lost a little bit of money and they don't want to lose any more. So they start selling their shorts back at a loss. They lose profit, but they start selling those shorts back. Well, when they're selling those, now more people can buy, which continues to pump up the price, which continues to drive down the price of the shorts, which scares more hedge fund people into selling out and cutting their losses, which causes it to go up even more. And then, like I said, you have a snowball effect, and you have a group of people who have now banded together to be like, yo, screw them for always taking advantage of us and whatnot. We're going to keep buying in this. And then last we saw, the highest it hit, I think, was like $405 or 400 and something dollars.
So fucking stupid.
It hit 400 and something dollars a share.
So crazy. GameStop, a worthless, in my opinion, a failing business model that will, dude, it's a joke.
It's not their fault that they're failing. At one point, it was successful, but now it's not that point anymore.
Because of Amazon coming in, and because of
it wasn't due to them. It's just technology's taken over.
If I just had like a couple minutes and to explain to you why GameStop is an absolute, GameStops will not be around. The GameStops are
unless
they
completely change their business model.
Yeah, they're like a Blockbuster.
Everything's going online. Everything's going online and streaming. I don't have to go in and physically buy a copy of a video game anymore. This is going to be gone in like 5 years. You don't no longer go in and you could buy consoles now that don't have disk drives. What is the fucking point to go to GameStop is if everything's downloaded from the fucking internet? That is the failing business model of GameStop. But this shit's worth how much?
Well, now it's like $320.
That's still insane.
And how long
That's
can it?
Insane.
So you could technically short him now still.
Yeah, but probably not a good idea. Okay. I can't. Well, actually, I can't give any financial advice.
This is not financial advice. We're just speculating here.
Just talking.
Yeah.
If you were to short it now, by the way, that would it cost a lot of money.
Yeah, there's some,
if you just got into the basics.
I don't want to get into the details of volatility.
Okay. Just in case people decide, oh man, I got like $3,000.
You got to go through.
Now I'm going to short GameStop.
You have to pay attention to the volatility. You have to pay attention to the Greeks and all this stuff. Not the Greeks like the people. The Greeks like the letters. You have to pay attention to the Greek people. No. Anyways, I'm moving on from that now real quick. What is important about this? If you're listening to this and you're like, I've already heard a lot about this, I don't give a fuck, blah, blah, blah. Ignore the price point. Ignore the fact that they're losing billions, blah, blah. The big thing now is the illegal stuff the hedge funds have done and the brokerages have done to stop them from losing money. That is the important part that everybody should be focused on here. And if you don't believe me, I lost money. I lost money because I was one of the people who shorted GameStop. I'm not part of a hedge fund or anything like that, but 2 weeks ago, before all this started, I did the same thing. I looked at GameStop and I said, man, this is way too high. So I shorted it because in my mind, it's not worth that much and it should go down. So I lost money. I was upset about the fact that I lost money, but I'm happy about the fact of what these individual investors on Reddit are doing. And this means a lot because now you have these huge hedge funds who are going to the brokerages like Robinhood and TD Ameritrade and E-Trade and Fidelity and all these different ones. And they're basically saying, hey, we're losing a ton of money here. And this is all behind closed doors kind of stuff. This is speculation. But now, so like Robinhood stopped you from being able, it was very short, it was very temporary, but that causes a huge thing. They stopped you from being able to buy shares in GameStop. So all these people on Reddit who are trying to still pump up the price of GameStop were shut off. They weren't able to buy shares anymore. That is market manipulation. Not the people on Reddit. Not the people on Reddit doing what they're doing, but you stopping brokerages from selling shares is market manipulation.
Well, no, what they were doing, in my opinion, is still market manipulation. But they're only doing what hedge funds have been doing since the opening of the stock market.
I mean, legally, it's not market manipulation.
No, they did nothing illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying.
It's still a market manipulation.
But so is buying or selling any stock.
Any reasonable person that knows the business model of GameStop, and you've seen what their stock has been at for the past fucking 5 years, and then out of nowhere, it's that. And
there was reasons behind it.
They didn't invent. By the way, GameStop did not invent cold fucking fusion out of fucking nowhere. They didn't invent, oh shit, we have the cure for cancer now. No, there's still GameStop. So nothing changed within the company and how and what they do. They still do the same shit. That is a market manipulation. But the problem is it's not the 1% that's overseeing the market manipulation. It is now just the people, the average everyday people now got some fucking money out of it. And the 1% lost money. And now they're crying like fucking bitches.
That's the point I was getting to with the end of with this conversation is the fact that they don't teach you about stocks in fucking high school. They don't teach you about finances other than how to write fucking checks in your checkbook, which doesn't matter at all. They don't teach you about stocks. They don't teach you about investing or any of the stuff that could actually make your future or help you. And the reason why is because they don't want you to know. And now that more and more people are becoming educated on it, these big hedge funds aren't able to make the moves that they used to be able to do and are now losing money, and they're pissed off about it. They're pissed off that they're losing money because at the end of the day, and once this is where it comes back into Robinhood and companies like Robinhood shutting off the ability to buy stocks. I think I said sell earlier, which was wrong, so I got to correct myself. Shutting off your ability to buy stocks or whatever for whatever made up reason. Oh, it's too volatile. Oh, we got the best. We've got your best interest in mind. Blah blah blah. That's bullshit. The point is, them stopping all that stuff means that the 1% and the 99% are truly playing by different rules. This is proof of it.
Okay, so hold on, Johnny, you just laid it out right there, and it's very beautiful, man. I think that a lot of people can understand exactly how you just described what happened a few, basically almost a week ago. And
it's still happening.
Right, it's still happening, but so there has to be consequences of what just happened. And I think that the consequences are going to go in favor of the 1%.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right? So
the SEC is already doing this. The brokerages are already doing this.
So you know what was one of the craziest parts about this, and I know this is just a little bit of a side note, but the press secretary for Biden right now, I forget her name, but she's the redhead, the one who she does the public speaking and does the press briefings for Biden. Her husband, or it was her brother, one of the two.
Same thing.
Yeah, kind of. Just kidding. I think it was her brother. Her brother was actually one of the hedge fund managers who lost a lot of the money. And once people started finding that out, they took that off her Wikipedia page. That she
took what off?
Just the fact, they erased all of it.
Okay.
I'm doing a kind of a bad job of explaining it, but she had relatives that were involved. It was a hedge fund manager, and now it's gone. You know what I'm saying? Just like the information. It's just crazy, man. And to ask a question, and for you guys so simply to answer what this podcast is all about, is that they're going to make regulations that will make the 99%. It will
negatively affect the 99%.
Yeah, that's the craziest part.
That's the most important. This whole GameStop stock thing and AMC and all the other stocks that are involved. The important part is not what's happening with the stocks and not what's happening, unless you're actively trading right now. If you're actively trading, sure, keep up with it. Other than that, though, that's not what's important. What's important is what is happening to the 99% compared to what is happening with the 1%. And it's the same shit that we've always seen. The only difference is now, so like let's say you're talking about politics instead of stocks. In politics, you have 45% of people think one thing, 45% of people think the other thing, and then 10%'s in the middle somewhere or think their own thing. And we can never get along. And then the 1% just wins. The 1% just wins all the time because we can't get along. This is different because the 99% is all together on this. You literally have like people from all sides are coming together on this to be, I mean, you even have politicians who are against each other. You had like OAC or AOC, what I can't say.
AOC, yeah.
AOC, Alex, blah, 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 Cortez, whatever. You have her, and then like someone, I can't remember their names, I'm so bad with politics, but someone who was like super against her all the time literally agreed with her and was like, yeah, this is great, this is good, that's what's happening, blah, blah, who's been against her entire career, and their entire career is like, the point I'm getting at is we're all now agreeing. Everybody is on the same side, and yet the 1% is still making regulation and will still come out on top of this. What does that say for our ability to actually enact change?
Yeah, I mean, like with everything that's transpired in the past year, and we've been looking for that hope, and we've always been striving for that hope, and then to see it actually happen, and that hope happens, and the little man or the little woman's just like, holy shit, this is actually happening. These people will no longer be able to band together and do this ever again.
No, they're going to come out with some nonsense and you won't be able to stop Reddit because of the way that site functions. You won't be able to stop stuff like that. What they're going to end up...
I mean, they stop Parler, bro. They can stop Reddit real quick.
No, what I'm not saying Reddit. I'm not saying Reddit.
I got you.
I'm saying any fucking forum.
Right.
You can't stop people from banding together and do this. You know what you can do, though? Put in some stupid-ass regulation. Like, oh, well, now to buy or trade stocks at all, you have to have at least $25,000 in your brokerage account. They can put in regulation like that. So now you've literally cut off the little man from being able to invest until they've invested.
They're not doing that, are they?
They could. That's what I'm saying.
No,
though.
they could.
They could. That's how you fucking.
But then you really get and honestly, it's that teetering point. You know what I talk about as far as like they've been playing this game to where they've slowly taken shit away, but not enough to where it's flipped the script.
We talked about that with David Icke actually.
They got to be really careful with what they're about to do right now, because if they go fucking too hard on suppressing what we can do, man, you're gonna piss off so many fucking people. And then by the way, all these people already know it's bullshit. But whenever you really get to it, and they go, oh, so like we've been winning at this for 100 years, but the one time that we lose, oh, now we're literally gonna prevent you from even playing the game. Well, then we'll be like, all right, well, we'll do shit differently now, and now it calls for fucking different action, and we're gonna handle you differently. But they don't want to get it there. And this is a really fucking like tight squeeze. Like, how far do we, because we can't have the average everyday person being able to make money off my $1 billion. Mm-hmm. I don't even fucking pay taxes. No, fuck no. I'm not giving any of my, I'm about to have to sell my boat, my fucking fourth fucking house. And you leave me with a yacht and fucking 3 houses. That's all I get to live with. Look at, there was a guy on fucking CEN who said it was an attack on the wealthy. A financial attack on the wealthy. Oh, man, do I feel bad for you. Like, you fucking serious right now? Yeah. An attack on the wealthy? So you lost a little bit of money? We've been losing money. You know how many common fucking everyday workers lost shit from 401ks and fucking from the housing market crash in 2008? People fucking homeless on the fucking streets with no jobs. Can't fucking do shit. You never gave a fuck about us while you raked in all this money. We saw it during the last pandemic. Yep. All they did was get wealthy. We're supposed to feel sorry for you? You're the only person feeling sorry for your fucking self. No, it's a joke.
The saddest part, man. The saddest part, and I think that this is the craziest part, is that like people have to walk away from social media, man. And they have to walk away from big social media, because they're literally playing this into the wealthy's hands. Like you said, they're like, this is an attack on the wealthy.
Well, the wealthy owns the media.
Right.
The wealthy owns the media.
If you look at the standard...
they don't own us, by the way.
What do you call that?
Well, they own YouTube.
Not standard. What do you call that? The mainstream.
Yeah.
If you look at mainstream media right now is making the Redditors and the small investors...
like terrorists.
...seem like fucking terrorists.
Yeah.
No, the media has manipulated into it to where if you're an average Joe watching it, which is unfortunate because chances are if you're watching us, you're not one of the average Joes watching the media.
Right.
So you already know what we're telling you right now.
But they
But
could,
on the
they
off
could
chance-
share it. They could
but-
share it.
Yeah,
Share that
there
shit.
you go. Share it. Share
the
it.
shit
Let
out
the
of this
people who
video.
don't watch know. But no, the mainstream media is making the Redditors and all them seem like the bad guy. No. And once again, if you think I'm biased, I lost money. I was on the hedge fund side, not morally, but financially. I made the same decision that the hedge funds did. I lost a bunch of money because I fucking shorted GameStop as well. And then it blew up. And instead of like making thousands upon thousands of dollars, I lost a couple. Like, and I'm still on the Reddit side of this. I'm on the little man's side, even though I was on the wrong side financially and I lost because it seemed like the smart play, which it was. GameStop is a failing company and it was a smart play. What are you on right now? Oh, that's the internet. And I was like, what the fuck? I was expecting to see the Audacity bar.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
looked
yeah.
over and I just saw a blank screen. Yeah, so I'm not biased on the whole thing because I was on the hedge fund side as far as financial goes, and I'm still agreeing with the Redditors. The mainstream media is making these individual investors on the internet sound like some kind of like banded together militia who are fucking over the rich or whatever. They're literally making the same financial moves and the same forms of market manipulation that the rich and the wealthy and the hedge funds have done for years.
Hundreds.
Dude,
100
years.
They do
And
it.
now they're stepping in, the hedge funds are stepping in and making brokerages shut down to only, okay, so the hedge funds, they've all got shorts, right? They've all got shorts on GameStop, which means the way they make money is if people stop buying GameStop. Plain and simple. If GameStop goes, when you buy GameStop, the more you buy it and the more people buy it, the higher the share price goes. That's how it works. The more people who buy in, the higher the share price goes because now they're worth more. So they want the share price to go down, which means they need nobody buying and more people selling. So what happens? All the brokerages literally stop people from being able to buy.
So they
and
don't
you're gonna
lose
tell
more
me
money.
that's not illegal?
Right.
That's not true market manipulation?
Right.
The brokerages, it's not like they stop people from buying and selling, by the way. They didn't completely cut it off and say, hey, we're investigating some fraud.
Sell that shit, baby.
We can no, they're like, you can
Sell it.
sell. You can sell all you want. You just can't buy anymore.
Because buying what's hurting the 1%. This is what I got down to whenever I first heard about the story, which I find unbelievably fascinating. So there was a pre-debriefing or a briefing on what the pandemic was going to happen to a select few politicians. Now, a handful of these politicians, who I should have their names memorized, but I do not, immediately pulled out so much money out of the stock market because they knew that they were going to lose money, which, by the way, is very much insider trading. But none of these people are prosecuted. None of these people are prosecuted, and the SEC is not investigating them anymore.
The SEC is investigating Reddit.
Yeah,
Right.
no, they're now, but oh man, all these fucking politicians is 1%. Which, by the way, who knows
Here's the
what
deal.
hedge funds? Who knows what hedge funds these politicians leak that information to? Where once again, billionaires got a little inside because they pay the politicians a little bit of money, and they go, hey, fucking everything's about to be locked down. You better start pulling out of fucking restaurants right now. You better start pulling out of airlines. Everything's getting fucking shut down. You're about to lose a shit ton of money. They pull out all their fucking money. Boom. They end up making so much more money buying back in when all those stocks fucking drop. They almost double their wealth. By the way, the 1% is the biggest people who profited from the shutdown of the pandemic. It's proven in math. It's almost in a gross amount to where they should be ashamed of themselves. Like Jeff Bezos and
Trillions.
people like it's a ridiculous amount of money.
It's over $1 trillion in wealth.
Ridiculous that
Yeah.
they made over the pandemic
For the
of
1%.
of the suffering of people, by the way,
Yeah.
that they made money off of. And then now you have just these people come in, average everyday person that decides to play the same game that they're doing. They unite and do it, and then now everybody's up in arms. And look at this near terrorist attack
Right.
on the fucking
But
market.
I think
it's laughable. It's laughable in America what's happening right now.
It's the most
laughable.
it's the most common denominator. Whenever people start to rise, that's exactly what they're going to do. Is they're just going to ostracize them and say that they're terrorists, which is that's the day that we've come to realize that this is exactly what is happening. And we've been talking about it on the podcast for years now. And we're actually seeing it unfold before our eyes. This great craziness that is fucking happening. And having David Icke a week and a half ago, and him explaining how this is kind of being orchestrated and what their total goal is whenever you hear him talk, I mean, to me, that's you see their final goal and what it is that they want. And it's control, man.
Complete control.
But the thing for me, man, and doing this podcast, and what scares me the most is the amount of knowledge that I want to spread to people, and just I want people to be free, man. I truly just want people to be free, and I think that we are here in the United States a little bit. And if you listen to either way, I want us to be free. But what I've come to realize, man, is that we're slowly losing those things. Slowly losing those things. You see instances like what we're describing right now, and they're going to make regulations to where this can never happen again. The people who are investing...
Hold on. So what you just said, they're about to make regulations to where this can't happen again.
I don't know that.
Do you agree with that? Do you agree with that? Because I agree with that. I agree with it. Let's see if we're right. Let's see if the SEC actually fucking steps in the next month to 6 months.
Yeah.
And actually switches shit to where, oh, man, we're now going to fucking make sure this
I'm just
doesn't
trying to
happen
think
again.
how they would.
It's the SEC. They fucking do it.
No.
Hold
I'm
on.
trying to think of the actual what the regulations would
They
be.
don't-
You can
they
write law. All they got to do is write some shit on paper.
That's not what I'm
Exactly.
saying, Jesse. I'm saying what would the law be? You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
You can't you can't be like you can't trade if you have a Reddit account. Like it doesn't work like that.
So what I'm saying
I'm
is
trying to think what the actual
No,
fucking
that'd be
law
true.
would be.
That'd be really bad.
these
if
people-
that was, which you could write a law for anything.
These people are clever, and you're right. Congress is going to get involved, and they're going to be the ones to step in. The SEC won't have to. You know what I'm saying? Congress will be the ones to do it. And whether or not it's right or left, right now it's the left, and they're going to be the ones who are writing legislation for what's about to happen when it comes to stocks and trading and all this bullshit. But even deeper than that, I think the question is, like, in this instance, whenever you're having the Redditors be the ones who are being investigated, it shows you the true colors of who these people are representing, and it's the 1%.
The 1%.
And this is just a theory. I'm not saying this for it to be true, but like people like the FBI and all these big corporations, SEC and all this, they are for the 1%, man. They are going to do the business of the 1%.
Dude, the proof, honest to God, the proof is in the fact that, just two quick things. The proof is in the fact that, and I'm not even going to name all of them that did it. I'm only going to point at one. Robinhood shut down the ability. It doesn't matter if they did it for 5 minutes or 5 hours. It doesn't matter. The time doesn't matter.
It was a few days, yeah.
It wasn't.
It was.
No.
Dude, I was trying. Okay,
I was checking on it often. Trust me. They shut it off.
Even Dogecoin.
Yeah, they shut down
Dogecoin.
cryptocurrency. I still
got
couldn't
shut down. I don't know if it was it all crypto or was it just Doge?
It was just Doge.
Okay, because that's the one that was being talked about on fucking Reddit.
Hold on, sorry. I did purchase $100 to
You can still buy Dogecoin right now. Yes, you can.
I've tried to the past 2 days. I couldn't.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
I get on my phone and try to buy some right now.
What they took away was your ability
I'd have to put it in the order.
What they took away was your ability to have instant deposit.
Yeah, it takes 3 to 5 business days.
Exactly.
Right. But you can
still buy it. You already have to have the money, though. They took away instant deposit for crypto.
But you can, for crypto, you can still buy other stocks.
Now, as far as GameStop goes, over the course of 5 days, they shut off your ability to buy at certain times. It was not a complete blanket shut off for 5 days. There were moments here and there, 5 minutes where you can't buy, 20 minutes where you can't buy, an hour where you can't buy. It was off and on throughout the course of these days.
And they can do those things.
I was making, though, is the fact that, one, they shut off it doesn't matter if it was 5 minutes or 5 hours, like I started saying, they shut off the ability to buy into a stock, but left you with the ability to sell.
It's part of their terms of service, though, and we all agreed to do those things.
I know. I'm saying, though, the fact that they do that, though, proves that it's only for the benefit of the 1%.
But through other brokerages, were you still able to buy that stock?
I'm only bringing up Robinhood.
So that's
there were
what I'm
tons
saying.
of brokerages that did it, by the way.
So, but only probably the free trading, the free trades.
Yeah, the ones that are built for
So E-Trade,
people.
Fidelity,
All
they
were probably the
probably
same.
could still buy. Because you have to pay the $10 a trade, $15,
Yeah, whatever it is.
Because they didn't give a shit. They were like, man, if people are trading, we're gonna make our money.
Yeah.
That's where Robinhood has always kind of been at the whip of the market itself.
Robinhood
And you really-
Stash and Acorns and all these other like small time.
I don't know if this is necessary or not, but to explain where Robinhood makes their money. Because a lot of people question, oh man, all these other brokerages charge you per transaction, per trade. Why does Robinhood able to give it out for fucking free? Well, they sell your information. So before your order actually goes through, They have a system that goes to fucking, I don't even know what the fuck it's called. The stock market is what I'm going to say. And they go, hey, they're about to place an order for this, or the general public is buying into this stock pretty heavy. And they wait for your order to not fully process. They get an inside information basically that, oh man, a bunch of people are about to buy this. So jack the price up like 10
All this
cents.
information is happening in milliseconds, by the way.
No, it's really quick. It's really quick. So they jack the price up a penny, 5 cents, 10 cents, which doesn't mean anything to an individual because you're like, man, I put in an order at $21.50 and I actually had to buy it at $21.55. Nobody gives a shit whenever you're buying fucking 3 stocks, a 15-cent fucking difference. Nobody gives a fuck. But on a large scale, whenever they jack that price up, that's where they're making their money because it's not the true evaluation of the company and the stock price at the time. That's when they make their fucking money. So they are kind of in a chokehold. Like, that's why Robinhood is in a chokehold and very much manipulated by just the stock market in general. I don't know how else to
create a business.
My second point with that, one being Robinhood stopped people from being able to buy, which directly affected the 1% and helped them, right? That's point one. Point two, all the people using Robinhood who were like us, who saw what was happening and were fucking pissed about it, started giving Robinhood negative reviews. Google deleted those. Robinhood went down to 1 star, and Google said, no, all these reviews seem pretty fake, and deleted them, and Robinhood's back up to 4 stars. Those are not fake reviews. Those are people who are legitimately pissed with a fucking company for how the company is responding to a situation.
And that doesn't happen to the little man or the little woman in the real world. You get your shit reviewed wrong.
Man, dude, but for all you know, the CEO of Robinhood, I don't know his name. I should know his name because I use Robinhood.
He's been all over mainstream media, man. All over.
Dude, he could have had like fucking death threats for all we fucking know.
Probably did.
Yeah, but
for that amount of money, for that amount of money for the 1%, and dude, they'll take your life with no fucking issue. They're like, dude, we'll just kill the fuck out of you. You don't do what the fuck we say. Oh.
No, because they're going to find more clever ways to take more money from the 99%.
I'm still saying Google shouldn't have removed those fucking negative reviews.
The real issue, man.
Let's boil it down here. Let's boil it down.
Robinhood did some things that were negative, but I'm talking about the foothold that the 1% and these hedge funds fucking had that probably came in and you're like, you're shutting this fucking shit down, whether or not you like it or not. Because if you like your fucking life, well, if you like your life, you're shutting this shit down now.
There were probably people
that's what it fucking probably came down to.
There were probably people who walked into his business.
He probably got the fucking piss scared out of him during this fucking process. CEO of fucking Robinhood.
Yep. Let's boil it down, man. Boil it down to one common denominator.
Boil it down. This is what I've been saying on this podcast.
We play by different rules.
It's not a separation of race, religion, creed, sexuality, anything, which is or you're Republican or you're liberal. That's not the true divide that's happening in America. It is a wealth divide of the people who actually fucking have the power. If you get angry at the right or the left, guess what? You're playing the same game and they're raping you for fucking money all fucking day. They don't give a shit what color you wear. They don't give a shit who you're having sex with. They don't give a shit what religious place you go to every Sunday or fucking Saturday or fucking whenever you go to your place. All they know is that they're in control of you financially. And nobody ever wants to really get down on this. That is the true separation in America. That's what needs to be addressed first. We talked about gold standard. We've had people on about fucking finance. We fucking preaching to the choir to a lot of these fucking people.
If you make less than
I've been saying the same
a year,
shit.
You're playing by different rules.
Yeah. It's different rules. And that's what really you need to be upset about is this 1% of people that have literally running the fucking world right now because of fucking finance. And the common everyday person is fucking fucked over. And you're a slave. Everybody's a fucking slave to this financial fucking system where they just get off on. And you just pissed off your slave master a little bit. So you're really feeling the whip right now. Everybody on fucking Reddit and anybody who has Robinhood and, is trying to intelligent and play in a capitalistic sense and capitalism works and all this bullshit, which is not capitalism.
Minus all that.
Socialism.
Dude, you hit it hard right there. You hit it really good. I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to keep going because if you in some way, shape, or form agree with Jesse's statement, man, share this video because that's the only way that people are going to understand what's truly going on. And not to say that we have ultimate truth or ultimate knowledge, but I think it's pretty much common sense what's happening right now.
It's really blatant now because everything that's happening.
It's fucking really common sense. How do you not see the wealth gap? How do you not see the pandemic happening and trillions of dollars going to the 1%? How do you not see Jeff Bezos and all these top 100 billionaires making all this money? How do you not see it? And we're not asking for a perfect utopia, but what we're asking for, I don't even know what we're asking for. We just want people to be more involved, man.
Also, the point of the whole playing by different rules comes into play here, because it's not capitalism. It's not work really hard and do really well and you'll benefit, because all these Redditors made the right decision and worked hard and did this stuff together. And yeah, they benefited a little, but you know what happened? They're all going to lose money. They're going to lose. Right. The whole point is we're playing by different rules. If you're part of the 99%, you can't do the same stuff that the 1% does and expect to go up, because if you start going up, they will fucking step on you and fucking push you back down.
Unless somehow you get initiated and you're part of the club.
No, there's some that get through once in a while. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
You can make it. But I'm saying in general, the whole point I'm getting at is we're playing by different rules. The stuff that you're doing in your day-to-day life that you think may benefit you and make you fucking better, and one day you're going to be a fucking multimillionaire or whatever, chances are that you're playing by completely different rules from the people who've already made it there.
Yeah. Crazy shit, man. You got one last thought on that, Jesse?
No, I just wanted to say the names of the people who were senators that got briefed on the pandemic. I'm not going to be able to say their names right, but there was 5 of them. It's Richard Burr, Republican.
That was the big one.
Richard Burr, who is, man, he's got so much ties.
He's still in the Senate right now. He's still making moves in the Senate. We talked about that a couple of podcasts
fucking
ago.
In office. Senator Richard Burr from North Carolina. Senator Jim. I can't even pronounce his fucking janky ass fucking last name.
Looks like Jim Inhofe.
Yeah, Jim Inhofe.
Okay.
Spelled a little.
Well, we don't want to
just say their names.
Senator Kelly Loeffler.
Yeah,
Loeffler.
Senator Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah.
That's all I see. Richard Burr, Jim Inhofe, Kelly Loeffler, and Dianne Feinstein.
Okay, so maybe there was only 4. I thought that there was 5.
The big one,
and
maybe, Richard Burr is still the senator right now, and there's nothing about.
Here's the deal, man.
So
these people made money before the pandemic. They knew something was going to happen. They cashed out.
These people aren't hard up for money, man. They're not.
They're politicians. They're running our country right now. They're the ones who are making laws right now.
It's gross.
It's very gross.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting what's happening. The separation when people have so much and also people have so little. And the what do they call it?
Redditors
the essential workers who, man, if they didn't do their shit, then they would have lost a shit ton of money. They needed at least some basis of economy to make sure that they had their fucking shit.
Man, these people, they're very clever. They know what they're doing. And like I said, David,
by the whips of your master, man,
Yeah.
with these fucking
But again,
assholes.
it all starts with grassroots, man, and just having just a normal conversation like this and trying to get it out to people to where they understand what's truly happening, because this stuff is happening and it's happening daily. And to see it broadcast the way that these Redditors did, I forget how they called their names. What was it? The Reds. They had a name for them.
What, the Reddit?
Yeah.
Wall Street Bets.
Yeah, Wall Street Bets. And they got banned off Discord and all this other shit. Like, this stuff is happening. These rich elites they're literally just taking more and more is what I'm saying. So just sharing this and just having conversation and talking with people, commenting on this video, hopefully it doesn't get pulled down, just being able to have a conversation about it to see what we can do as the 99% to better the future of America, man. We got a little bit of time.
I just want to
left.
play by the same set of rules, man. That's all
Yeah,
I want.
no,
I just want to play by the same set of rules.
Yeah,
it
I'm down with
doesn't
that.
fucking work that way, and that's why.
And
at
it never
some
will.
point,
It never will.
At some point, they'll ask, "Oh, why did you eat the rich? Why did you?" Which that's been a big thing. You eat the rich lately, especially with everything that's going on. Which I agree with it. I love that statement because you are fattened. You are fattened and ready for the slaughter. Because you've absorbed everything that you possibly can, and the people who are starving, well, we're gonna eat.
Yeah,
You know,
What are your-
we'll eat. We'll eat.
And that
find
pretty
you.
much took up the majority of the hour. And I knew that this subject wouldn't. It was very great, man. But what are your guys' thoughts on just the 40 executive orders Biden signed like 2 weeks ago?
I know nothing about them.
I don't know anything.
I know one of them is
Delegalize weed.
no.
Do you have
He
is
made-
he,
he
is he
made-
focused on legalization of marijuana? Maybe the decriminalization of it at least.
I don't know. I know a few, right? So here I'm gonna name them off just real quick. Man.
Anything that has to do with freedom, I'm all about. Anything
Right,
on the
right.
opposite side of regulation.
Yeah, I don't know about when it comes to freedom. I know he stopped the Keystone Pipeline, which a lot of jobs were lost. I'm not entirely sure.
The Keystone Pipeline's a weird thing, but
that was going to connect Canada. There's going to be some trade and some good stuff that comes out of that. But I guess
that one's a weird one, man.
When it comes to the key, and I know that this is my ultimate question, but when it comes to the Keystone Pipeline, by canceling that, we're going to have more dependence on other countries for resources when it comes to heating our own country or fueling it and stuff.
And I don't want to get into the Keystone Pipeline because there's so much more behind the scenes bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot, man.
So hold on.
There's a lot with that one.
Okay, so
skip over that one. What's the others?
So he's made an executive order that all federal employees have to wear masks in a federal building, and not only that, or if you're crossing state lines, but
who gives a shit?
You are no longer, if you're a federal employee in any federal building in the United States or on federal property, allowed to say that the virus came from China. The coronavirus, yeah. You're not allowed to call it the Chinese virus or the China virus. It is now. He made an executive order to say
you can't call it the China virus
in a federal building.
Well, first off, nobody's fucking calling it that.
Well, Donald Trump
only
did.
Donald. Literally nobody else called it the China virus.
I don't give a shit.
Nobody
else.
I
don't give a shit.
Literally, he was the only person to call it that. Nobody else in America.
Nobody cares.
Huge Donald Trump supporters.
Be an executive
never
order
called
about
it the
Nobody
fucking
gives
China
right?
virus.
So hold on. It gets even.
Jesus Christ.
And that's to the limit of my knowledge of what I know. But there is an actual TikTok of Biden about to sign another executive order, and he's like, I don't even know what I'm signing.
Wait,
and then
why is there a TikTok of that?
Well, they made a TikTok of the video that they watched, like on whitehouse.gov or whatever it is. Yeah.
He's just talking about the media platform that he watched it on.
And Biden's just like, he's like, well, I don't even know what I'm signing. And then Nancy Pelosi like kind of walks over and shrugs, and she's like, just sign it.
That's not.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. He's the same as the last fucking.
But hold on, I know.
And there's not even that many.
I know that, but is it not? Signing 40 executive orders, is that not being a dictator? When you have both the House and the Senate,
That's what they all do.
Right. No, I know, but he's in his first 2 weeks.
That's what they all do.
Yeah, I know that.
So what's different? What's weird?
There's
nothing weird about this.
No. Very true. Well, it is. It's a little bit more weird because at the rate that it's happening way faster.
But I bet if you looked in the past, every year that rate increases.
Well, when you have George Bush Jr., Obama, and Trump within the first 2 weeks, he's like doubled or tripled the amount of executive orders. So what I'm saying is, it's progressively getting worse.
I bet you that George Bush Jr. did more than Clinton. Like George W. Bush did more than Clinton.
It's becoming more common.
I bet Obama did more than George W. Bush.
And then Trump did more than Obama.
That's what I'm saying. That's a fucking regular. There's nothing fucking out of the norm here.
It fuels the separation, and that's what they want. They want the separation.
The question is, do we not live in a dictatorship in the United States?
We don't live in a dictatorship.
No, that's you don't know the definition.
What do you mean? Whenever when they sign 40 executive orders, that's not a dictatorship.
No, he's not a dictator.
He's an elected official.
We live in a corporate oligarchy.
True. / I think you have to add in dictator now.
No.
Dude, when you sign 40 executive orders that change law,
fucking 4 years ago they could have been like, when you sign 28 executive orders that change law, like, bro.
Okay, so after
I'm just answering your question. In my opinion, no, we don't live in a fucking dictatorship.
Okay, it's just a question, is all.
I'm giving you my answer.
So we'll leave it at that. Okay, we'll leave it at that in that aspect. The last question I want to ask, and Jesse, I already know his answer to this, but we're heading down with technology in a path that's going to change who we are as individuals, as a human being, and what our vessel is. And we all love to eat. I love to eat. I love different tastes of foods. I love.
Oh, this is what you talked about outside.
Yeah,
I got you.
I love food, man. But I think for me, and I think that it's a very easy answer for myself. If there were ever a day to where I could go into a store and I could buy just a shake or just a container, and it had, let's say, you bought 2 containers or 3 containers, and you drank 2 or 3 a day, and different flavors, whatever you have. And it has all the nutrition that you need. Nothing else. No carcinogens, no pesticides. It's just truly what your body
You're talking
needs.
about like the movie WALL-E, where they just go around drinking fucking nutrient shakes.
Yeah, but I mean, a little bit. I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's WALL-E, man. I'm not trying to break it down to that. I'm just saying if I had the option right now, and I would even go back, let's say, bring it into Western times, and I had the opportunity just to fucking have a shake to where I didn't have to worry about fucking hunter gatherer or trying to kill something.
We don't have to worry about hunter or gatherer right now. We go to the goddamn grocery store.
No, I know that. I'm saying you could take it back however far. This is just my mindset, Johnny, is what I'm saying. I would fucking take the shake, man. Because don't you just hate picking what it is you want to eat?
No.
Not at all. I love that.
So you wouldn't take the shake?
You don't smoke weed, do you, Paul?
No, I don't.
I can fucking tell.
I
Because
enjoy
you smoke a little bit of
making
weed,
a steak.
you definitely fucking...
Bro, I used to smoke...
You get
I
dick
used to
hard
smoke-
about some fucking food.
I used to smoke all the weed, man.
I know, but you get dick hard about food. That's the part of life that you end up enjoying, is having that variety. Like the spice of life, right, is variety.
It's what Earth offers.
And especially like whenever it comes to like eating food. Eating food is such an amazing experience.
But would that not...
It could be an awful experience too.
That could cure starvation,
are
could it not?
you-
I want some sushi right now. I don't want a fucking nutrient shake.
I see where you're going with this. If there was, and by the way, this has been done before. It's called ramen noodles. You know, the guy that created ramen noodles was trying to solve the issue
It's
with world
nowhere
hunger.
near healthy for you.
No, but he was trying to solve world hunger, though. Like, there is nothing more filling than carbohydrates, and he was like, this is literally, still to this day,
so
the
processed,
cheapest.
though. So processed.
No, but he was just trying to make sure, okay.
A nutrient shake.
If
would be
you're a
heavily
child in
processed.
Africa,
I'm saying it wouldn't be.
if you're a child in fucking Africa and you haven't eaten anything in fucking 5 days, you think you're worried about, oh, look at the processed ramen noodle packet I'm about to fucking eat for fucking
Fair
10
enough.
cents?
Fair enough.
No, he was trying to solve world hunger. There is this, as far as what the human body needs, that varies genetically from person to person, and man, everybody's completely different. Some people react really well to vegetarian diets. Some people really work or handle really well straight carnivorous, and you don't even have any fucking vegetables, and you just strictly eat meat. It's very genetically based. You got to figure that shit out on your own. There is no one shake. This is one thing that was always laughable to me, which honestly I shouldn't even be saying right now because it's outside of my scope of practice, and I'm not even certified anymore for personal training. But they have this thing called BCAAs that you would like scoop in and like put it in your fucking drink, and they sell the shit out of it at like GNC, and you'll even like see ads on fucking on YouTube and shit where like, oh man, get your BCAAs and shit. Just a branched chain amino acid, which is a broken down form of protein. There was no study that you drinking this, you don't get even more from eating a fucking steak, is all it is. So a lot of that shit's fucking laughable. And honestly, drinking something as opposed to, I don't care if I'm getting all my calories. I don't know if you've ever had a heavy calorie fucking drink. It's hard to put down. Give me a steak. Give me some steamed broccoli, a little bit of like salt and pepper. You know, give me a baked potato with some cheese and sour cream, bro. Maybe a half.
Yeah, I don't want the nutrient
half rack
shake.
of ribs.
I don't want the nutrient
Give me a
shake.
half rack of ribs with some spicy barbecue sauce, man. That's where I'm at. That's actually enjoyable. Meals should be enjoyable because life is finite. Life is finite, and eating's a big part of your life. So you need to enjoy that shit. Nobody enjoys fucking shakes all day.
So, I mean, but you have to break it down and like just enjoying what we enjoy right now. It comes at a cost when it comes to agriculture and when it comes to animals.
Everything comes at a cost.
No, I get that, man.
Everything comes at a cost.
But I get that. So what I'm saying is we have to look for the future of where we live, the earth that we live on. We have to look at the future in that aspect. And I think that taking steps towards that, or whether or not
it would
it's
just become another divide, man. The 1% would have steaks, and the 99% would be forced to eat nutrient drinks.
Very true. Very true.
That's just a step in the wrong direction.
No, I get that, but you see what I'm saying, though. I mean, there's a carbon footprint. I don't know how big when it comes to just agriculture and farming and stuff like that.
No, I could go on a whole rant about that, about like how biodiversity is so important, but with growing massive fields of shit is really bad for the environment in general because a parasite comes in, and that's why they have to like have the planes come over
Crop
and then
dusting.
drop in, and then literally, I don't want to say crop dusting because that's what I did to a couple of tables today after the Chipotle I had. But yeah, no, they have to do that. And then now you have this chemical that's on this fucking plant, and you need to make sure that, man, maybe that chemical is negatively affecting me. It's not all natural at that point. No, it creates a lot of fucking problems, but there's always shit like that. I'm
just ready for us to, dude.
Tell you.
Everybody's so worried about. I'm kind of digressing here. I'm branching off a little bit. And I know that we need to like hurry up and wrap it up.
Yeah,
but like
for
real
sure.
quick, man. Fuck the carbon footprint. Fuck all that shit. Blah blah blah. Man, like what? Let's go colonize Mars already. Let's colonize the moon.
No, the 1%. The 1% are about to colonize fucking Mars,
Let's
and then they're gonna leave
expand.
us here to fucking die.
That's not what I'm saying though. That's different. I'm not saying just them. I'm saying everybody.
That's a weird
Like, let's expand. Let's fucking go out to space and shit. Let's do something different. Like, we don't have to be stuck
But legitimately, if we go to Mars and colonize Mars,
it'll be the 1%.
first?
It'll be the 1%.
Who's the first people to go?
That's not what I'm getting at. I'm not
Fucking
getting
1%.
that. I'm not getting that far.
won't be
with
us.
Jesse.
It won't be
Jesse,
us.
I'm not getting into the logistics of it. You know what I mean?
At least do it.
I'm just saying in general, like, we've been so worried about the earth we live on and all this stuff. And I'm not saying fuck up the earth. I'm not saying, oh, keep doing what we're doing. No, obviously there is a way to be quote unquote greener, for lack of a better word. Like, we should focus on this kind of stuff. We should focus on solar energy and alternate forms of energy and stuff, and not fossil fuels and all this. But you talk like population increase. Like, if the population increases, we're going to run out of room and stuff. Like, I'm just in general, I'm a big supporter of let's go to fucking space. Let's explore. Let's fucking go back to our roots as like people of fucking science and exploration and adventure and shit. You talk about all the time, Paul, you specifically bring up about like how we need to get outside more. We need to get our feet in the ground. We need to get outside. We need to like be more with Mother Nature and all this. I'm expanding on that even further, saying go for the fucking stars and shit. Like, we need to be out there doing stuff,
They're
not
there
just
for a
stuck
reason.
on our fucking computer screens and drinking our nutrient shake and looking at a fucking computer screen and living on houses stacked on top of each other.
Fair enough, man. That's a good way to end it. If you guys enjoyed this podcast, man, the number one thing that you can do to help this podcast is just share it, man. Again, we're on all platforms now. Just sharing it would really, truly help Talk Junkies. Again, we're not going to stop, man. If you have certain subjects that you want us to talk about, put it in the comments below on this video on YouTube, because I'm on there every day looking at what the channel is going on with, and I'm very good at communicating. We're really close to 1,000 subs, man. Eventually, we're going to hit live stream. Maybe not. We might not do that. I don't really know our plans. We'll discuss that at a later time. But again, best thing you can do for Talk Junkies and to help promote us is share the shit out of this. Share it to your mother, your father, your daughter, your sister, your brother, your uncle, your dog, your cat, your fucking iguana.
Dude, if you have a dog that can watch fucking YouTube or listen to fucking Spotify.
Can you own an iguana?
Yeah, why not? People own alligators, man.
I guess you're right.
Yeah. Share the shit out of it, man. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button to all our junkies out there.
Stay fly and ring the bell.